Hello and welcome to a crazy itinerary of 7 days in the beautiful Azores, in which you will discover some amazing places, like for example an abandoned building in the middle of the forest, or watch us get lost on hikes and discover different local cultures and foods and so much more. So keep on watching if you're interested in that. I am very curious if it will stay this way or it will become like Madeira. You don't have to do all the crazy things Google Maps say in order to reach this parking. It's very easy. I did not expect to see such a beautiful view here. I hope we are going the right way. There is absolutely no one, no marks. Even if we don't see anything, at least we have to cross the river. It is even better than what you see here. We are alone with some cows and chickens. Other people, sorry, there are a lot of insects here. I'm very surprised because welcome back and good morning from the Azores in Portugal. It is so beautiful here. It's a very nice and sunny day today. It's right now the middle of March. I'm mentioning this because I have the bad habit of posting the videos very late, so I'm not even sure if I will post this like this year because I have a lot of videos to post. Anyways, our accommodation is so beautiful. As you can see around, this is our garden, this is the house where we have our beautiful room, and it is so peaceful here. We have a private parking. This is our car, and everything here in Azores is unexpectedly affordable. Like we spent for 9 days for the car 200 and something euros, 250 I think, and for the accommodation we spent less than 600 euros for 9 nights with breakfast included, and it is so beautiful. Today we are going to visit, I think, as much as we can for the first day, but in a relaxed pace. We have a lot of time on the island, 9 days. I'm just happy because it is so beautiful here and it doesn't seem crowded on the streets. It's quiet, and I'm really curious what the island has to offer for us. Anyways, if you're enjoying this video so far, please don't forget to like it and also subscribe. I would really appreciate that. Anyways, our first stop was this very beautiful beach called Areal de Santa Barbara, and as you can see right now on the screen, we spotted some geckos, and later on, as we were watching more and more, they were literally almost on every rock. You could see families of small, I think they are lizards, and it was really cute to see them everywhere around you. Anyways, the waves here were so huge. It was pretty scary to watch and imagine going in the water, but anyways, we weren't going to swim because the water in March is probably super cold in the Azores, so I don't recommend coming here for swimming during colder months. Anyways, the views around here were super nice, so even if you are not going in the water, I feel like it's still very much worth it. We park now at Areal de Santa Barbara or something like this. It's a beach, and there are a lot of kids around here, probably a lot of families that go out during weekends with their children, and it is so beautiful. It's so nice. I would really see myself living here. So far, I really like the vibe of the island a lot. We are going to keep going and see probably a lot of viewpoints around the island. I really like the vibe here. The people seem very chill and friendly. So right now on the screen I filmed some details about a 12-kilometer trail that covers a lot of viewpoints around this area, but you can also visit them with your car. For example, this is one of them that we visited by just driving around, and you can also do that if you don't want to do this trail. We will do a lot of hiking in the next days, and I will also post vlogs about that, so if you're interested, make sure you subscribe in order not to miss that. Anyways, look at this viewpoint we saw. It was so beautiful and it was so relaxing to just watch the waves. We have stopped at Palheiro viewpoint, and there are a lot of viewpoints on this island, so we'll probably stop for a lot of them. I am not even sure if I will mention the name of all of them. You can easily find them around the island. You don't even have to plan a lot. You can just see a parking, stop there and admire the view because it is so pretty all over the island. There is also another viewpoint a little bit further away from here, but very close. We didn't stop there because I think the view is similar, but you can stop in so many places. We just stopped at a place for some coffee and croissant, even if we ate like 3 hours ago. We wanted a small break and we paid for a Nutella and one hazelnut chocolate croissant and some milk coffee. We paid €8 and 80 cents, which is €4 something each croissant and coffee, which I feel like it's a very good price. I feel like in general the Azores is very affordable. I am very curious if it will stay this way in the future or it will become like Madeira, because from what I've heard and seen, Madeira is much more expensive. Anyways, we are going now to yet another viewpoint, which is called Cintrão viewpoint, Miradouro do Cintrão or something like this. And then probably some more viewpoints, I will let you know. So we parked our car here and we are basically the only ones around here, surprisingly, and I did not expect to see such a beautiful view here. I didn't look at the photos, so here is what we are seeing. It is so beautiful. Now that I am seeing it on camera in front of me, it reminds me maybe of some parts of Malta. Now that I think of it, the island is a little bit similar to Malta. Maybe you think I'm wrong, I'm not sure, but from what we've explored, it looked like it, and it is so pretty. And we are the only ones here, which is crazy because it's almost April, so it's not really that off-season. Feel free to pause this video right now if you want to read more about this place being a whale lookout viewpoint in the past. Keep in mind that here we were still at the Do Cintrão viewpoint. So we are now at Santa Iria viewpoint, and this is the parking. You can see here we are 3 cars in this parking, so it's not crowded at all, and it's a Sunday, so it's during weekend, so we are very surprised that there are no tourists around here. I mean, there are some, but way less than expected. So this is called Santa Iria, and if Google Maps tells you to do like a crazy round trip around this viewpoint, I mean around the roads here just to get here, don't listen to Google Maps. There is a very short way here. Listen to the signs on the street. You don't have to do all the crazy things Google Maps say in order to reach this parking. It's very easy. And we are almost there. We have to walk a little bit. And there are a lot of trees and a lot of green. And we can also see other parts of the island, not just this viewpoint here. We can see a lot when looking on the right side and on the left side. It is so pretty. So this viewpoint is one of the most famous and definitely one of the most beautiful around the island, and as I've already told you, we will explore so many viewpoints because this island is full of them, and I honestly saved all of them and we just drove from one point to another and we explored all of the viewpoints possible on the island. So if you want some tips on which one you should visit and which one are not worth it, make sure you subscribe. We've just parked at the Gorreana Tea Factory here. As you can see, here it is a bit more crowded. There are a lot of cars in the parking, and apparently you can have a free tour of the tea factory, which is pretty interesting. We will see if that's the case, I don't know. And you can also get some pastries, coffee and so on, so it's pretty nice, and also souvenirs. Feel free to pause this video right now if you want to read more about how they process the tea here at Gorreana, and they have 8 steps for the green tea and 5 steps for the the black tea, and it is really interesting. You can see now on the screen I filmed everything from the inside. We could see it for free, and it was super interesting because basically you see all the machines that they are using, and you can understand better how it works and what's behind the tea that you are drinking. Anyways, for the green tea there are 8 steps, which are withering, steaming, and then it's rolling, which happens twice, drying again twice, and then polishing and separation. And for the black tea, it's made in 5 steps, which is again withering, rolling, and then it's different than a green tea because the oxidation happens here, and then drying and separation. So you could read that at the beginning of the video when I was filming all these details, but in case you didn't read, I wanted to clarify that for you. And you can see even drying machines around here, and it was super interesting. You can take a guided tour with them, I think, but we did not wait because it only happens during some specific times, but it was super interesting to also see that ourselves without a guide. So I really recommend you to come here if you want, because you don't have to pay anything, and the prices for the tea, if you want to purchase some, are really good in my opinion. So we also got some tea as souvenirs for our family, and we walked a lot around here. There was so much to see because they had a lot of different machines for the same purpose also, but I am not 100% sure why, because I'm not an expert in it. But again, maybe there were some older methods and some newer methods. And a nice thing was that at the end of this self-made tour, let's call it, we were able to make our own tea from them. They had some machines with different types of teas, and they were using their own tea, so we could taste which one we like better and also to feel the difference between them. Another very cute thing was that they had a lot of objects that were very old and they were related to tea, and we could see some old objects that were made for making tea or for drinking it. Anyways, after going out of the building, we were able to see a little bit of the plantation, and that looked very beautiful. But in general, we saw this kind of landscape all around the island, so it's very similar in general to what we were seeing everywhere, so I don't know exactly the difference. There were also lots of cows. I filmed them a little bit, and there is also a small trail around here if you want to see the entire plantation. I think they made an information board about that, and then we just walked around because we did not have enough time today to do that entire trail. We just walked around the building, and we arrived at some point where there was nobody, and I think we were not supposed to go over here because it was super weird, but I don't know. We are now at Tio Domingos viewpoint, and this one is less touristy, less known, but still it has a great parking that is paved. So far all the parkings were free, which is very nice, even in the city, because it's Sunday they were free. And this viewpoint is very, very pretty also. I mean, it's not as impressive as the other ones, but it's still nice to see the ocean from here, and it is very well organized. As you can see, you can also see there's a little house, and it's very nice. Even though in this video I wanted to focus more on the Gorreana Tea Factory, I still want to show you some beautiful viewpoints around Azores because there are so many, and honestly the more you explore them, the more you will see that they are pretty similar because you are seeing a lot from the island. Anyways, at Salto do Farinha we saw this beautiful waterfall, and over there you can see some people that are going in the water, and if you want to go there, it's really not that hard to reach it. We did not do it because the road was super steep. It was way worse than what you are seeing in the video, but if you have enough time you can also walk, or if you're not scared you can go with your car on that steep descent. We have stopped now for Poço Azul, and I am not sure where we should park or where we should go. We just parked in the street like 2 other cars because there is no official parking. I think there is a sign with Poço Azul over here, but it says you can't pass if you're not a resident or you don't have private land there, so we won't go over there. We will just leave the car here and walk. Feel free to pause this video if you want to read more about this area and also about this trail that you can do if you want to see both the Poço Azul and also the do Farinha waterfall. So from where we parked, we went towards the sign with Poço Azul. I hope it's the right path because it was not the one on the big sign with all the trails. That one was longer, so we are just walking on this street. We are alone, but there was a sign saying that around here, like, we have to go this way for Poço Azul, so I hope we are going the right way because there is absolutely no one and no marks whatsoever. Hopefully we are going the correct way. We're trying to see if there is a viewpoint around here. I'm not sure. The trail seems to be ending around here, so we'll probably go back if there is no viewpoint. So I'm not sure if this is the right path. Normally the one that is marked was the other one, but I saw in the reviews that people said that the path with the stairs, it's steeper but it's quicker, so they recommend that one. I hope we are not going the wrong way. We keep hearing weird sounds from the grass. There could be some geckos maybe. It's so weird because we are literally alone. Now that I'm editing this video and the hike is already done, it feels super funny to me to see how scared I was, even though the Azores are super safe, because it was our first hike of this trip and I did not search online if there are any dangerous animals or insects or snakes and so on, so I was super paranoid because I was not informed. So we have to be really careful here. As you can see, they are very steep. In general, the hike was super safe, but I still recommend hiking shoes, especially if it's raining and it's a bit slippery. So this happened when I stepped on this, and this is a path, and I think this is a waterfall. Oh my gosh, don't tell me there is no water. Almost no water. So spoiler alert, this was actually not Poço Azul. Happily we will see that one later in the video. We have to be careful, as you can see. So here we have to keep on walking and climb all the way here. Oh my. We are starting to climb again, apparently. So I'm not sure if we didn't see anything, like there was no water or something, but we are on the right path, so let's keep going. I don't know why there was no water. Maybe it hasn't been raining for quite a while, or maybe we will see it later. We are starting to climb and the hike is being more difficult. Even if we don't see anything, at least we are surrounded by nature and it is very beautiful around here. Why does this trail where we came from, why is it marked as closed? Because maybe there is no water. Anyways, we're on the right path. I recognize this from the map, which is good. We just saw a sign with Poço Azul and the rest of the trail, so I think the way we went was wrong. The place where there was no water, I think it was not Poço Azul. We will find out now because we are going this way right now. Hopefully it is not too long extra. Look at that, guys. We are on the right path because we are seeing the very light blue water everybody was talking about in the reviews. So finally we managed to do the right one. And there is nobody here, surprisingly. I mean, as you can see, we are the only ones. Look at that super cute and small animal that is on the stairs. Do you know which animal this is? Because I have never seen one like this in my life. So here is finally the Poço Azul. The waterfall is really small, as you can see here, but the water is so blue. And over there we passed earlier on that bridge, and as you can see there's nobody around here, so we're pretty much alone here. So beautiful. So after relaxing for a while, we decided to move on with our trail, and you could see some trees being fallen off on the trail, and right now you can see Mike being a little bit silly and funny. And anyways, after this fact of seeing fallen trees in a lot of places, the trail was still very nice and well maintained. So we have arrived on this trail. We will go later over there and climb all that hill. Mike saw, oh, there you go. Did you see it? Mike saw a wild rabbit and now I caught it on camera too, which is very nice. There's another one. Look at it. So maybe you think we are crazy, but I think we stayed here for more than half an hour just watching wild rabbits running everywhere, playing with each other, and it was super entertaining for us. Mike saw a lot of wild rabbits when growing up because he was from the countryside, but I grew up in a city and I very rarely saw wild rabbits, so for me it was such a nice experience. I could stay there for hours, honestly, just watching them being silly and funny everywhere around. Anyways, right now you could see the entire collection of my new friends from the Azores. There were like more than 20 or 30 wild rabbits all around, just playing, running. And right now on the screen you can also see a rabbit that is stretching, and this reminds us of our cat back at home. Anyways, one fact about all these wild rabbits you probably already know is that they were running away as soon as we made even the smallest sound, so we had to be careful not to make any noises to not scare them off. Anyways, after admiring and laughing at these rabbits, we proceeded with the trail to a very beautiful waterfall. So we thought the sign for the waterfall was this one, but actually there is another one. So I made Mike come down because you have to walk over here to see it. It's bigger than the other one. So this waterfall was such a beautiful surprise on this trail, and anyways, I really recommend you to do this hike or trail, whatever you want to call it, because it was so rewarding and so fun. Even though we went on the wrong path at the beginning, it was still worth it, and you can do either the longer one or the shorter one. We came this way, and guess what? We have to cross the river to go that way. There is no other way, as you can see. That is cool. So I was filming right now my crossing this river, and it was actually way easier than it seemed at the beginning. So you just had to go on some rocks and that was it. Anyways, right now we are proceeding with the last part of the hike, which in my opinion was so nice. We saw multiple viewpoints of the waterfall, as you will very soon see, and we also saw a lot of small, I don't know what to call them, like mini waterfalls or something like that. I think they were because of the rain. If I'm wrong, please correct me, but it was not raining that day or the previous day, so I'm not sure why there was so much water. But anyways, you can see some different viewpoints of the waterfall. So I think doing this trail in the reverse way than we did it may be prettier because you have the waterfall in front of you all the time. Okay, so lesson learned. We have to walk a lot on normal road for cars. Don't stop at the sign with Poço Azul. Just go by car at the start of the trail. I mean, not the start, but even farther away, even as far as you can on the main road in the village. And even here, and you can go down on a very nice paved road with your car, and you can stop the car there, and you will have to walk a little bit and you will see the last waterfall we saw, and you can get from there to the Poço Azul. You have to walk a little bit and also climb, but we climbed a lot more than we would have if we chose this way, so make sure you just do that. Trust me. So at the end we went for dinner to Tio Lunches, which had amazing burgers. I fully recommend them, and I present you our pet chicken from our accommodation, which was super fun and cute. Good morning, everyone. This is day 2 of exploring the amazing islands of Azores, or Azores, how it's spelled. We are now close to Furnas, I think it's called, at a viewpoint called Pico do Ferro. And we are going to see some viewpoints around here. I think there are around 3 or 4 viewpoints called Miradouros. After that, we will go to the hot springs, and the water is full with maybe a little bit of sulfur with iron, and and it has a weird brown color from what I've seen in the photos. So make sure you get an old swimwear or a dark colored swimwear, because from what I've read in the reviews, it is staining the swimwear. Also the skin a little bit if you stay for too long, so make sure you shower immediately after. If you are blonde, don't go in with your hair, because I've read reviews of people getting their blonde hair orange, so make sure to do that. And right now we're going to see the viewpoints. I will show you around a little bit, and after the hot springs I'm not sure yet. We will see then how much more time we have of daylight. This is the parking, and there is also a bus I see. The souvenir shop is closed, and look here, the viewpoint. We have to walk a little bit to reach it, and the road is very good, in a very good condition around here, as you can see. So this viewpoint was super beautiful, and there were so many flowers, but as you can see, the weather was not on our side today. So if you come to Azores and you have just a few days, there is a high chance that you don't have a very good weather, but still you can see that the viewpoint is so beautiful even without sun. And indeed, when it's sunny outside, it is so much more beautiful. But don't get your hopes too high, because the weather in the Azores is super unpredictable. So if you get a sunny day, make sure you wake up very early and you start exploring, because it may not last that much and you may get a lot of days with a lot of rain, from what we've seen and from what we've understood from the person at our accommodation. Anyways, as usual, in all the viewpoints where we went, we saw a lot of cats, and this one was super friendly and super cute. As you can see, it was just staying in front of us and wanted a lot of cuddles and was super cute and friendly. We have arrived at yet another viewpoint. What a surprise! We drove for 4 minutes, and this one is called Vista do Vale. And this is a less known one, but you can see a sign on the street while driving to Furnas. Here is the parking, and it's empty right now. We are the only ones here, and you have a walking trail here. I think it's pretty close to the viewpoint. I already see it. So I think it's worth a stop, because it's literally so easy. You can stop even for 5-10 minutes here. So this is the viewpoint. From here we can see the beautiful village and also a very nice waterfall, which is a surprise. As you can see it here, wasn't expecting to see a waterfall. And also the road where we will go over here. We stopped for another viewpoint of Furnas, which is called Salto do Cavalo. And right now it is very foggy. As you can see, we can't see anything, but there is some text here, so I will show you right now. So here you can see about the area. You can stop to read, you stop the video, and here is the viewpoint we should see. And here is the viewpoint where we are right now. And also the parking. It is pretty small, but it is like not crowded. So we were pretty sad that we weren't seeing anything from this viewpoint, but patience is the key here, because we waited for a few minutes. I was really hopeful, and indeed it was really a good decision to wait, because we were able to see this amazing view that you are seeing right now, because the clouds were moving so fast. This is one thing that I truly remember from the Azores, like the clouds were moving super fast every day. So this is why the weather is changing so fast. But basically, if you are not seeing anything in this viewpoint, just be patient, and for sure the weather will clear up all the clouds. We have just arrived in the parking lot of Caldeira. As you can see, there are a lot of spots. They are even in front of me. You can fit here, I think, 100 cars easily. It's probably a very touristic spot. Right now, it's not even close to full, the parking, but we are off season. Anyways, it's basically what we already saw in Iceland, but there is some boiling water from volcanic activity, and we will smell a lot of sulfur around here because of the hot springs, obviously. And I think the entrance is free. I will edit the video later if it is not. The parking seems free. All the parkings so far on the island were free, which is much appreciated, because all the parkings are very well cared for. So it's really, really nice that they offer them all for free for tourists. So these are dry ones. and this one means that it's small, as you can see. There are some dry ones, but you can also see some active ones. Let's get a little bit closer to them. The translation is this one is big. So yeah, that is pretty obvious. We can see one over here too, and yes, the smell is horrible. Ugh. So in the end, this entire area was for free because basically it was in the middle of the city, which was really cool because you could even drive through all this thermal area and you could see it from the car while driving, and that was really nice. It's definitely one of my favorite places in the Azores. I don't think it's my number one, but it's up there for sure, and I really recommend you to come here. Anyways, feel free to pause the video right now to read everything that is written on the screen because it's a lot of very interesting and useful information about the Furnas volcano and area. This small village or small city, I don't know what to call it, it is so pretty, as you can see, with lots of green spaces and flowers. I really love it. And also, as you can see around here, you can see a lot of these hot springs. What I found really interesting about this area is that it was super green everywhere. I mean, I know that the climate in Azores allows it, but if you've watched my videos from Iceland, you knew that all around these thermal areas there was basically almost no life. And seeing the contrast here with everything green all around these thermal areas was really interesting to see. I even traveled in New Zealand to some thermal pools and areas, and it was not that alive, let's say, as here. So I think that here in the Azores this thing is pretty unique and I really liked it. Anyways, we walked all over this town or city or whatever it is, and it was really relaxing and interesting, but make sure you don't get too close because obviously the water is super hot and you could get yourself hurt. I think there are a lot of warnings about that, so be careful about that and make sure you respect the local rules as always. So we are walking over here and there is randomly this small piece of, I don't know what it's called in English, of water, and it is boiling. Like, look at this, it's so random. So we have finally arrived at Parque Terra Nostra, which I talked about at the beginning of the vlog. It's a hot spring area where you can soak in and relax. The entrance, as you will soon see on our receipt, was 10 euros per person. This was the price for March 2024, and I have a lot of things to tell you about this place, but in general I really recommend you to come here if you are in the Azores. Anyways, after that we stopped at this wonderful place. This was so delicious. I also recommend you to stop here because it was super good and the prices were also affordable. We are now at the viewpoint Nossa Senhora da Paz, which is also a church which has this beautiful view in front of it, and it is even better than what you see here on my video. I will show you in a minute. And from the town where we were earlier, there is quite a bit to drive. I think it's 20 and something minutes, but we decided to do this way because we have around 2 more hours of daylight, so we'll just relax. We went to the thermal baths in the city where we went earlier. I don't remember the name, I will put it on the screen, and it was nice. It was 10 euros per person, but it was a bit chaotic with the changing rooms and with the showers, so I think I have a little bit of the flu after that. I'm not sure, so be aware of it in case it's cold outside. Just make sure you check it out first to make a plan before going to the shower so that you don't get a cold while waiting outside. So right now I will show you the view around here. So probably when I will be posting this video I will focus more on the abandoned building that we found, and that will come a little bit later in this video, as you will soon see. But for now let's focus on this very beautiful view and this very beautiful church. We will go a little bit around it because I really highly recommend you to come here if you are in the area because it was super nice and it was not crowded at all. We were the only ones, and then just another family came. Look, there are some cats around here. They are so cute, and maybe there are even more. They seem well cared for, and it's so nice to see them around here. Feel free to pause this video to read more about this church on that informative board that I filmed earlier. If you've been following my videos, you know that I always do this. Anyways, you can see all around here the beautiful views we are seeing. We were seeing also some animals like cows on the hills, and after we climbed all those stairs up to the church, we were able to see also the other side of the church, and there we saw this very cozy view of the hills, and there is Mike. And here is another text that you can read about this viewpoint up here. So you will see that this is around 200 and something meters above sea levels, and now we are back to our friendly cats, and here it was so relaxing. Anyways, right now we are finally at the beginning of the trail where we will find the abandoned building, and I think that there are even more abandoned buildings on this trail, but we did a shorter version of it. We parked here, we are alone with some cows and chickens, and we are going this way, I guess. I got my hat that I've used in Iceland because it is quite cold, and I've been having kind of the flu since day 3 of Iceland, I guess, so I don't want for the flu to get worse. It seemed like it was passing, but now today, after the thermal baths and staying in the cold, it got a bit worse, so I don't know. We will visit the first 2 things that were on the map, and until there it's like less than 1 kilometer, I think, so we should walk for I think less than half an hour or maybe 40 minutes round trip. So as you can see in the video, the beginning of the trail was super easy. It was just on flat surfaces. It was very well maintained, and it is doable for everybody. So we have arrived at the water reservoir here. There's Mike drinking his iced tea, and we walked over there. That was very, very quick. We made it here in like 5 minutes. Cheers. There is a cat. Mike scared me while I was filming. Anyways, the cat got scared of us. Anyways, so far the trails in the Azores, they are empty. I mean, we barely saw other people. Sorry, there are a lot of insects here. Anyways, I will talk like this. There is the cat. Hi. So far the trails, they have been really empty. Like we saw some people sometimes, but not a lot of them, and I'm very surprised because really after all it's March, it's not like January, so we saw more people in January in Malta. So I was so surprised because I was expecting the Azores to be almost as crowded as Madeira because they are so close to each other, but apparently the Azores are not so popular yet, so that's a great opportunity for you to explore it before it gets super famous and crowded with tourists. Anyways, we have arrived finally at the abandoned building, and it was incredibly interesting because you can see basically it was taken over by nature. There are literally trees growing inside of it and grass everywhere and on the walls, and it's really incredibly interesting because I felt like in a movie, and it was so nice that we could even walk inside and explore everything and just look at it in the video. It was awesome, and I really recommend you to come here, even if it's a little bit weird if you're alone. It feels a bit scary, like in a scary movie, but it's super safe. We have just stopped at Agua d'Alto beach. It was not on my list, but we drove past it, and there is a huge parking lot here next to the street, and I was like, this place is really nice. Let's stop to relax a little bit on our way to Ponta Delgada and then home. So we are going to see it a little bit. Maybe we will see some color because in around, I don't know, I think 40-50 minutes there's the sunset, so maybe some colors start to show up already. I don't know. So apparently I was wrong. The sunset is in 3 minutes. I lost count of time, and also it is not visible at all from here because we are faced south, but maybe a little bit of color in the clouds. We will see. I mean, it's already a little bit visible, but nothing red or orange, so maybe later. So So apparently this beach during the summer is really famous, so that was interesting to learn about. But anyways, the water is super cold. The average temperature is 21 degrees Celsius, which is cold. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed my video, please don't forget to like it and also to subscribe. I would really appreciate it if you did that. Good morning, everyone. This is day 3 of exploring the island, the main island of Azores. We are visiting Sete Cidades today, which is, I think, the most famous area on the island because the weather is pretty good. We don't see a lot of clouds today and the visibility seems very, very good. So we are now at a viewpoint called Pico do Carçao or Carvao, something like that. I will leave it on the screen. I forgot the name. And I am in the car right now. We already saw it. It is very beautiful. I will show some videos from here. We're in the car because it is really cold outside because of the wind. So we are staying inside a little bit and preparing for the next stop, which is probably another viewpoint. This side of the island is really, really beautiful. From here we can see the entire east side of the island. Like 80% of the island, it is visible from this viewpoint, which is insane. This island seems so small when you look at it from here. I find this very interesting. So I'm curious of how the rest of the viewpoints will be because this one is very, very pretty. As you can see right now on the screen, this specific road was really narrow, so if you're coming from a country which usually has pretty large roads like the US for example, make sure you practice a little bit on smaller roads to drive with your car because you need to get a little bit used to it before it may seem really difficult if it's your first time. Anyways, feel free to pause the video right now if you want to read more about this place because it's a lot of interesting information put here by locals. And right now you can also see where we parked, and this parking was huge even if this viewpoint was not really that popular, so don't worry about your parking space, especially because the Azores are really not that popular right now. Anyways, we have finally arrived at Sete Cidades, which in my opinion is probably the most famous place on the island, and the entrance was really nice. It looked like we were entering a really big park, and surprisingly it was not even that crowded as you can see. We're doing now the Boca do Inferno hike or trail. I'm not sure yet which one of them it is. I think we will walk for around half an hour or maybe 40 minutes. I will let you know. Anyway, so far it's like a walk in the park. As you can see behind me, it's very nice and well maintained. There are a lot of people. In these days we never saw any place on the island that had so many cars parked, but it's obvious because I've read online that this is probably the most famous viewpoint on the island, or at least in top 3. So if you want to avoid the crowds, just go very early in the morning. But it's not that bad. I mean, as you can see behind me, there are hardly any people around here because this place is huge, so don't worry about the crowds if you're traveling off season. If you're traveling in the summer, then you should go early in the morning to avoid the crowds. So this place was literally paradise for people that love being in nature because it was such an easy walk and you were surrounded all the times by deep forest and there were trees literally everywhere you were walking, and it was very, very relaxing and nice, and it was also very kid friendly if you're traveling with kids. So it's been 15 minutes almost and we are still walking on this path, which is pretty much flat, so it's very easy. And I think right now we are starting to climb on some stairs, so it is changing a little bit. So you can see that around here the trail already starts to change a lot because we are out of the forest and we are starting to climb a lot, so we are close to the viewpoint. We are seeing the main viewpoint here, but we still have to climb over here this path. So this is so beautiful. I think we have like 15 more minutes on this path, which we have to climb, as you can see. To be honest, at this point of the trail, you could be exhausted if you're not used to hiking, and it's a lot of climbing to do here at the end. But when you look towards the right, you see this amazing viewpoint all the time, which is super rewarding. And also there was nobody else on the trail around us, which was incredible for how popular this place is. And a very important tip is that you should come here when you have good weather, because as you can see, we are seeing the very famous view. And feel free to pause the video again if you want to read more about how this place was formed and about volcanic eruptions that happened in the past and so on. But anyways, I was talking about the weather, and it is super important if you have more days on the island to check the weather forecast to make sure you come on the best possible day you have here, because it is really worth it to get a clear day and a sunny day if you can, if it's possible, and if it's not raining the entire time you're staying here. But anyways, look at this, it looks so surreal. And here I filmed a little bit a time lapse to see how fast the clouds were moving. We are now at Canario Lake, which is behind me. It was a short walk from the main trail to that beautiful viewpoint of Sete Cidades. I understand why that place is so famous in Azores, because it is so beautiful. You could see the ocean and so many volcano lakes and the city, and that view was so beautiful. But you have to be careful when you come, because most of the days I think it is cloudy and foggy. So today was a very beautiful day. As you can see, it is still a beautiful day and it's pretty sunny sometimes, so we got lucky. But just make sure you check it out. There is a site, I think Sites Azores or something like this, I will leave it on the screen, where you can see real-time videos of the site around the island, and that is very useful to know if it's cloudy or not. Anyways, enjoy this view of this lake. There is nobody around us. I think it is not that famous or popular, but it's just, I think, like 50 stairs away from the main path, so it's worth checking out. I see there is another viewpoint there. There are some people, and here is the beautiful lake. Here is the path that we used to get to the lake, and it was so cozy, as you could see, and there were not really that many stairs. We are now at Miradouro da Vista do Rei, and it is so beautiful. We had a lot of parking around here, and you can see behind me the beautiful view. The parking was free as everywhere else on the island so far, which is very nice. Even though these places are very touristic, the parking is still free, so that is much appreciated. But the wind is crazy. Even though in front of the sun it is very hot, because of the wind it is still pretty cold outside, so you don't even know what to dress with. So because I haven't made any official introduction, I want to tell you that this video is about the viewpoints around the Sete Cidades area and in general the western side of the Azores, of the São Miguel island. And this is basically kind of part 2 of the previous video. You can see now the Cerrado das Feiras, or how it's pronounced, viewpoint, and now we have arrived at another one where we can see the lake from another side, and it was very beautiful. And also I have another recommendation, that is a very beautiful church you can visit in this area. You can see it on the screen right now. You can also go inside, which was very interesting. You can see also the area outside is very beautiful. Anyways, if you want to see the previous video where we explore the most famous hike around Sete Cidades, feel free to watch it. I will leave the link down below in the comments. We are now at a Lombado Vasco viewpoint, which is, I think, less famous because we and another car, we are the only ones around here. It's a pretty big parking, like you can easily fit around, I think, 10-15 cars here, and it is very pretty with a lot of flowers around here and green space, so It's very pretty. Now let's see the viewpoint. If you've been following my videos from the Azores, you probably already noticed that most of the viewpoints look very similar to each other, but I still recommend you to enjoy and to visit as many as you can, because in my opinion it's really worth it to come here and think about what is different in this viewpoint. And also these flowers from the Azores were so beautiful. I love them. From that side where I went earlier, we could not see a lot. We saw the ocean and some beautiful landscape of the area around the ocean, and now we are going by foot. It's like 1 minute walking to the other viewpoint. Here there are two, and maybe we will see a little bit of the lake again as in the other viewpoints. We don't see the lake from here, but maybe if some people go this way where it's not cloud, maybe there is a viewpoint of the lake. But it's still pretty over here too. Let's go now to our next viewpoint of the day, which was called Ponta do Escalvado, and this viewpoint was so beautiful, as you can see from my videos. I will talk about it in a few seconds while I was in the car, but I really fully recommend you to stop here because you could see amazing views. So we just visited, I think, the last viewpoint of today of the western side of the island, and it's called Escalvado Viewpoint, Miradouro do Escalvado, and it is very pretty. You can see the coast and some very big rocks in the ocean, a lot of waves forming, also a city that is pretty far away from here, and it is very beautiful to watch. Probably won't stay a lot here like in most viewpoints, but it's still worth visiting because it is very pretty. We are now at Ferraria viewpoint, close to the thermal pools of Ferraria, I think. So I was wrong, this is actually the last stop of the day. Feel free to pause this video if you want to read more about this area. I really recommend you to read it because it's put there by local people and it's really interesting. But anyways, you can see that from here we are seeing a very clear view of the rocks and the waves, and it was very nice to see. And then with your car you can go down the road to this huge parking at Ponta da Ferraria. Basically here we should have seen some thermal pools, I think, but that building looked abandoned, so I'm not sure if it's still working, open, or it's very old. If you know, please leave it down below in the comments. I'm really curious about it. But anyways, in this area you can also stay and watch huge waves hitting the rocks, and it creates really big and very impressive waves. I'm not sure if it's like this every day because the sea was super rough in this day when we visited, so it may not be like this every day, but you can enjoy these insane waves from the video I took because it was super impressive to watch. But be really careful around here because you can see that the sea is just white, and in case you didn't already know, if you see that it's just white and waves, then it means it's super dangerous to go in the water or even risk being taken away by the sea. Like the risk of drowning is super high even for experienced swimmers, so make sure you stay away and safety first. Anyways, you can after that go down these stairs that you can see right now. I was filming, and you will reach basically a natural pool where you can even go inside the water if you don't mind cold water. But be aware that, for example, in this day that we visited, it did not look 100% safe because of the waves, but it was still not as bad as in the other sides because it's naturally protected, let's say. We saw some people going in, they were in swimwears and they had their hair wet, so they went for a swim, and you need a lot of courage to go inside that super cold water. Hi guys, so today it's day 5, I think, of exploring the Azores, and we are doing now the Janela do Inferno trail or hike. It's a 7.6 kilometers walk, and right now we are starting on a normal street, and I think we have to go like this for almost 2 kilometers until we go inside the forest. There are a lot of cars parked, and as all the parkings we saw on the island, it is is free, which is very nice. And I think this trail hike will take around 2 hours and a half of today, so I hope it will be worth it, and I will let you know how it goes. So we have been walking on this paved road for quite a while, but be patient because once we enter the forest it will be so magical. So we have 6.5 more kilometers. We have been walking on this road and we are continuing around here. So far 1 kilometer it has been really easy. Look at this. Hello. There are multiple ones. Hello. So we have been walking for the past half an hour on this road. We have a beautiful view of the city right behind me. We have been walking for a little bit more than 2 kilometers so far, and it's always been on this road, and we have been climbing. Hopefully we will soon enter the forest because it is really hot outside with the sun. So far we didn't see anyone else, so we are pretty much alone until now. Maybe we will meet some people later in the hike. After walking for a while, if you see this exact bridge that I'm filming right now, this means that you are getting really close to entering the forest, which will be an amazing experience after staying in the sun. But anyways, as I've already mentioned, you can actually see that it was cloudy when we did this trail and it was still burning us, so don't forget your sunscreen. After 2.5 kilometers we are entering the forest, as you can see. This entrance in the forest was super nice and mysterious. I loved it so much, but it was very short because after we climbed on these stairs, we were again outside of the forest, but it was not for long because you will soon see in this vlog that we entered again in a way more mysterious way the forest. Anyways, did you see that bird? I don't know what it is called, but it was super beautiful. So we are now out of the forest, but I think not for long, because on this road that you can see, it is not really a great road. We have to turn left very soon and it looks like we will be in the forest again. As you can see in front of us, we are almost at 3 kilometers from the parking and we will go inside the tunnel, which sounds pretty interesting, but we have to use the phone flash. To be completely honest with you, seeing this tunnel was crazy to us because we don't even have tunnels for cars in the country where I'm coming from. So seeing that in the Azores they have tunnels for hikers, that was mind-blowing, and that surprised me also in Madeira because literally on that island you have so many tunnels. But anyways, it was pretty scary and Mike had more courage than me, so he went first. But because of the fact that there was nobody around, I thought there could be like a lot of spiders or maybe bats inside that tunnel because it was so dark. But don't worry about that, it was super safe and there was nothing inside. You could use the flash from your phone and it was super safe. We went inside multiple tunnels and you can see right now on the screen I got my shoes dirty a little bit, so be aware that this trail is not very popular, but it was my favorite from the others. You can see that we even crossed a small, I don't know what to call it, like waters, very small river maybe, and we had to climb, but this part of the trail was so incredibly beautiful inside the forest. Literally once we went inside that first tunnel, it was like we were being teleported inside another dimension where only us and the forest existed, and I'm not joking at all. It was really magical and it felt like only this forest existed in this world, and it was amazing. I really recommend you to come here if you're in the Azores. If I lived here, I think I would come here weekly. Anyways, we have arrived at the final point, which was this waterfall coming from that super dark and black hole inside that mountain or hill, I don't know what to call it, and it was really interesting to see it. And here was the place where we finally saw one person. It was, I think, a local guy because we saw him in 2 other places around the island, and that was pretty weird, but I mean it could have been a coincidence. But anyways, I love this place so much and I recommend you to allow a full day for it. We thought we had to go this way, which seemed scary, but I think we have to go that way on those stairs and then climb over there. That was funny. Here in the forest is so beautiful, so peaceful. One very important thing that I forgot to mention is that this hike goes in a circular way, which means you don't go twice on the same path and you don't return on the same trail that you went on. And this was really beautiful because we got to see new things and new places all the time. Anyways, right now on the screen you can see the last tunnel of the day, and this was, I think, the best one because it was very well maintained, it looked pretty new, and it was pretty tall. But after going out of this tunnel, everything went back to normal. It's like we entered the real world again and we were not in the forest anymore. This was crazy. We have almost finished walking. We are now walking on the street. We shouldn't do that because there was another trail and it was slightly longer, but it was out of the main trail, like we finished that one. So it's fine. We didn't want to go even longer because we are pretty tired already. That is enough for today. Anyways, we are walking on the street. So if you also come this way, be careful because there could be more cars when you travel, if you travel during summer, for example. So this route we took could be more dangerous during summer. Anyways, we are having a very beautiful view in front of us. Let me show you. So there's Mike and there's the beautiful view in front of us. It's so beautiful. We are now at another viewpoint. Over there, somewhere over there, it's the main viewpoint. I think around here it's the main viewpoint of the lake, da Fogo. But we are now next to another viewpoint. You can see here there is a big parking lot and we are seeing a view that is not as beautiful as the other one, but it is still very pretty. We can see the mountains from very high up, and I'm going to go over there where Mike went right now to see maybe an ocean view. Maybe it is pretty. Here you can see the view I was seeing initially, and then I was walking over here towards that place that I was talking to you about, and we finally saw a very beautiful view of the ocean and of the hills. And this is actually a preview of the next video in which we will explore more this area of the Lagoa do Fogo, and I loved it so much. If you're interested about that video, please don't forget to subscribe in order not to miss it. And also I want to thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it was useful and interesting, and if you enjoyed it, please don't forget to like it. Hi everyone, this is day 6 or 7, I don't even remember, of us visiting the Azores island, the main island, and we are now at the Ribeira dos Caldeiros park, which has a very beautiful waterfall, but it's also a very big park with a lot of things around here. We have a map of the entire park and I will show you in a minute. We are already seeing the waterfall from the parking lot, so you don't have to walk a lot around here. We can see a lot of things like the history and operation of water mills, corn and wheat production in Northeast, and a lot more. So this is a very interesting stop for you and I really recommend you to come here. We have a lot of things to do today. In this side of the island we have a lot of viewpoints and waterfalls and so on, so I think this will be pretty exciting. That was really unexpected, but this place became one of my favorite in Azores, and I really recommend you to come here because it's literally heaven on earth, and I am not exaggerating. This was, I think, one of the most beautiful places I have ever been, and right now you can see some videos from the waterfall, which was super beautiful, but the main attraction here was actually the view on the right side, which I will show to you in a moment. And you can stay here for as long as you want to. There is no entrance fee or anything like that, like most places in the Azores. Just look at this, it is so beautiful. We are at the watermill, but it seems closed, so I think we'll just admire the view from here, which is very beautiful. Weirdly enough, all the buildings were closed. I'm not sure if it's like this all the time or if we just got unlucky, but anyways, we decided to spend some time here admiring this beautiful and colorful fish. And right now I am leaving the original sound on to see how peaceful everything was. We are now at a new viewpoint. It's called Despe-te or something like that, and it is very nice. Here is a very interesting tree, as you can see behind me. It's very pleasant to stay under it, and the smell is very nice. There is also an area for picnic right behind me, somewhere over here, which is very common here on the island. I saw pretty much everywhere a lot of picnic sites, and this viewpoint is not that popular. You can see a little bit of the coastline and the cliffs, but not like a very popular viewpoint of something. You will see the ocean and the cliffs, and also it is very relaxing. There is only one person here other than us, so it's not popular. So this is the tree that I was talking about earlier, and I will just show you a bit around here, all the trees and beautiful nature, because the viewpoint was not really so much more incredible than the other ones. But anyways, if you're enjoying this video so far, please don't forget to like it and also subscribe. I would really appreciate it. The next viewpoint for today is Vista dos Barcos viewpoint, and as you can see around me, we are literally the only ones here. There is no other car parked here, and there is Mike. Hi. And there are some stairs we have to climb. I think this viewpoint is more popular because we can see a very nice lighthouse from here. I guess you can see it from here, it's right there, and a very beautiful view of the ocean. This again is not a very famous viewpoint as other ones on the island, but I feel like it's still worth it because it is very easy to arrive here and to see the lighthouse. Today is not an amazing day because it is very cloudy. It rained a little bit. I think it starts to rain a little bit now too, and it's a bit cold. As you can see, I got my not mine jacket, but it's very pretty around here. We are now at a more popular viewpoint. It has 3,000 reviews on Google Maps. It's called Ponta do Sossego, and it is so far very pretty. It seems like there is a small park here which is very well maintained with a lot of beautiful flowers and palm trees. It looks really comfy and nice. I will show you the viewpoint very soon when we arrive there, but so far this park is so pretty. To be completely honest with you, I am super impressed about how this super random viewpoint is so well maintained. It literally looks like the center of a very beautiful city, and I really love how the people from the Azores take care of the island, and literally everything we visited was super well maintained and taken care of. This viewpoint gives me a lot of Hawaii vibes, honestly, and we can also see it from this side, and there's this really nice park that you saw so far. It is so beautiful around here. So this is the same view from another viewing platform, and over here you can see a lot of picnic sites and a lot of beautiful flowers. This is so well maintained and beautiful. I love this place. And now let's see the other viewpoint. We will see the other side of this park, the other view. So let's see. Okay, so from this side we cannot see a lot from the ocean. We only see a little bit of that small city or town. So the views from the other side, they're way better. So obviously we are at another viewpoint which is called Ponta da Madrugada or something like this, and it started raining. I think maybe it has just stopped, but I am not 100% sure. We'll go out anyway. and see the viewpoint, take some videos and photos, and hopefully it will not start raining even more because we want to enjoy the view before leaving. So far it hasn't rained strongly in any of the days when we were here, which is a good sign, but I'm not sure if it's like this all the time. It's now March, so maybe during March it doesn't rain as much. I don't know. You have to do a little bit of research if you want to travel during a specific month. Anyways, we are getting out of the car now and I will show immediately what we're seeing here. This was basically yet another viewpoint in which the entrance was super beautiful. You can see that there are a lot of trees that are very well cut and flowers, and it was so beautiful. I would really love to live here and have all these beautiful places all around the island. Honestly, it looks very nice, and congratulations to the people from the Azores from maintaining and doing all of this for their island. And anyways, we got the biggest surprise here. We saw all these beautiful cats here. They were eating because there were some people doing a grill earlier here and they gave them some leftovers. But anyways, look how fluffy and beautiful they are. I truly love cats so much. And anyways, I am filming right now a little bit of the view here. You can see that you get to see the ocean and some towns there that are far away, and it was really nice to see here and admire the view. And one of the things that I truly loved about today is that we got to see this super unique tradition of the people in Azores. They are literally walking for more than 300 kilometers around the island, and they are called Romeiros, I think. If I'm wrong, please correct me. We are now in the parking lot of Salto do Prego waterfall. Some chickens want to say hi, and also if you want to come here, just search on Google Maps Trailhead Cascata and the name of the waterfall. I already forgot it. Anyways, there isn't a lot of space for cars. As you can see behind me, our car is here, and then a lot of cars are parked on the street. I think this waterfall trail will be around 1.5 hours or 2 hours round trip, and there are a lot of chickens around here. So we are starting now the trail, and I will show you as we are walking how hard it is and if it's easily doable or not. But from the reviews I saw that there are a lot of kids doing it, so I think it should be pretty easy. So I was just mentioning about the kids, and the only tourists we saw on this trail was a family with 2 small kids that were doing this hike. So I want to tell you that it was really not that difficult, but you had to climb a little bit. You can see even now on the screen at the beginning we already started to climb a little bit. I think we had around 2 kilometers one way and 2 kilometers to return back, and sometimes it was like really flat, but sometimes it was on rocks, as you can see right now. So it's good to have good hiking shoes like we did. And in general, other than climbing and some rocks, it was pretty easy, so it's okay to also come with children, as I already told you. But anyways, it was so peaceful and so nice. We were most of the time next to a river and we had trees all around us, and it was so peaceful and there was nobody around us, which was really nice. If you're coming here during March, I'm not sure if it's like this every year, but in all the hikes we did, there was almost nobody else, even in the most popular ones, so that really surprised us. I think the Azores will get more crowded in the next years if it gets discovered, let's say, by travel vloggers like myself sharing all these beautiful places. But in my opinion, it's really worth it to come here, and this island really deserves its recognition, as I've already mentioned a lot of times in my other videos. Anyways, if you are enjoying this video so far, please don't forget to like it and also to subscribe. I would really appreciate it. And anyways, right now we got to a really interesting bridge, as you can see, and I want to mention again how well maintained all the trails here in the Azores are. Even if they are not crowded, it is really easy to follow the path and it's really safe all the time. But anyways, you can see a lot of huge rocks and small waterfalls and nature everywhere. It was super beautiful, and we will very soon arrive to the waterfall, which was so impressive. But again, prepare your feet to climb a lot. I mean, not insanely much, but enough to get tired. So we are almost there. I think we have around 300 more meters, and it has been a bit difficult. It's not like just a walk. You can hear the chickens around here. Anyways, we have been climbing a lot, so way more than the last hike we did on the island. So come a little bit prepared to climb a lot. Like, it's not really incredibly difficult, but it can be a bit challenging. And I think it's around 2 kilometers one way, so 4 kilometers in total, or 3.5. And we are still climbing, as you can see. So this is a really important part of this trail, because here you can decide if you want to hike even more, and you can pause this video to read about it. You need to take a taxi or come back on the same road. So we have arrived at the waterfall, but I'm not sure if it's this one, so I guess we will just keep going on these rocks and cross this small whatever it would be. Careful. So now, just a spoiler alert, that was not the Prego waterfall that we are trying to find. We will see another one that is way bigger, but it's not really taller. I think this one that I showed you is above the Prego waterfall, but anyways, look how peaceful and beautiful everything was around us. I loved it. And here we saw this sign and we had to go downhill. It was a really weird path. Let's say we had at some point to go on an unmarked path, I think, between the trees. And if you arrive here, do not stop. Make sure you go down any way you can, I guess, because you can go right next to the rocks there. And over there we met with that family that I was talking to you about, and they also had kids, so they managed to hike with them, and it was so nice here. We just stayed and had some snacks and relaxed while listening to the waterfall. We are at Miradouro Pico dos Bodes, so we are starting again to go to Viewpoints. The other hike was very okay. It was around 4 kilometers in total, and we had a lot of climbing to do, but it was fine. Here, so far, we have a weird building, not in use anymore, and we have to climb, I think, in this thing here. So maybe we will see here the viewpoint. I am not sure. Anyways, it is pretty hot outside, even though it is very cloudy and sometimes it rains, but still the weather is very good. And we are in March, so every day so far we had very good weather. If you want to visit during March, I'm not sure if it's like this every year, but this year it was very nice. And right now we are seeing the viewpoint. Around here you can see the ocean, the coastline, the cliffs, and over here we can see the beautiful hills. That seems very classic in the Azores. The next viewpoint where we are going is called Pôr-do-Sol, and it is very close. We only have to drive for 3 minutes to reach it. So at some point a lot of viewpoints are very close to each other. You don't have to drive that much. So it's like drive, park, enjoy the view, take some photos, then drive again, park, and so on for like 2 hours of seeing just viewpoints, because there are so many on the island and they are all so beautiful and worth it. This place here was so much more than just a viewpoint. It was like a huge park where you had so many places for grilling and for walking, and it was so beautiful. And here is a very cute cat relaxing in the shade, and you can see that the view was super beautiful, but there is so much place here for grilling. You can see I filmed a lot of places, and now here we were walking towards another area of this huge park where we saw some locals that were just having fun. And imagine being a local here and coming here with your friend just casually in one of the most beautiful places in the world to chill and for grilling. That must be really nice. We have now stopped at Povoação beach, which is, I think, a pretty famous beach in the city or town called the same, Povoação. And I hope I'm pronouncing it right. And we are not going to go in the ocean here, obviously, because it is probably very cold. But we will just go and see the beach a little bit. I see some families with kids here because there is a park. So I think we will just walk around here and just relax. Feel free to pause this video right now if you want to read more about a walking trail that you can do in this area, and it's a lot of interesting information including about the weather conditions and so on. But anyways, we have arrived at the beach that I was talking to you about, and I want to ask you, in case if you know about it, I saw a pool earlier and I also filmed it. Is that public? Because it really looked public, and I'm wondering if anyone can go in at any time. I don't know, maybe you know. But anyways, you can see the weather was super nice, and then we got a bit hungry and we went to Mega Sabor to get some pastry, and it was super good. I fully recommend them. It was like a local bakery. And after that we went to a pineapple plantation because the Azores are very well known about that. And here in this place that we visited, you can get a free walking tour by yourself. I think that there was also a guided tour, but maybe that one was paid or at specific times. But anyways, we tasted some pineapple, we paid for it, and it was so good. I fully recommend you to try it on. It's known as the best pineapple in the world. Anyways, after that we went to these botanical gardens in the capital, and we stayed here for a lot of time. It was so nice and so relaxing, and you can see we met with a lot of animals and we saw lots of plants and trees, and it was super well maintained. We also saw a huge tree that you can see on the screen right now, and it was so impressive. And I really recommend you to come here if you have enough time and if you want to relax. But if your time on the island is limited, you can skip it, I guess, because there are so many things to do all around the island and it's not really a top priority. This is why we left it for the last day. But anyways, look at these cute ducks, and also we met with a super nice cat, and there was a local lady that passed and she left some food for the cat, and that was super nice. The local people here are so nice. But anyways, this is our last video from the Azores, and I want to thank you for following along. If you are curious about more places on the island, feel free to watch my other videos, and from now on I will keep on posting from Madeira, and I have so many tips from there too. So thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like it and also subscribe, and see you in the next video.